Hi, I'm Tammy. Namaste. I'm glad you're here and ready to give yourself the gift of yoga practice. The sequence that follows is all about accepting support. So, support on your mat will come in the form of bolsters and blocks, the yoga mat itself, strap, a folded blanket, preferably wool or stiff, something that will hold its shape, and a wall. We're going to want to practice by a wall today. So please gather these materials and open your mind to using them, even in poses that you have achieved before without support. Today, we're going to take a step back and we're really going to identify our relationship to accepting support, accepting help, and what might stop us from that, and what might happen in the present moment while we're experiencing the pose if we actually feel a true sense of comfort and stability and ease. Because yoga asana should be in comfort, stability, and ease. And if we can achieve that, if we can let go of the ego saying we don't need a block, if we could let go of some tiny bit of struggle or gripping muscularly in the moment, what might happen? If we could let go of those things, what might happen to how we open up to experiencing a pose? Might we finally feel and be aware of and have the sensations that the pose is wanting to show us, to teach us? Possibilities are endless. So come to your mat with an open heart and an open mind, 2 blocks, a bolster, blanket, strap, and be ready near the wall. And let's really prop ourselves up today. Let's give ourselves that special care. And let's be curious about how that changes our experience of our yoga practice. We're going to begin with our mat, short edge of the wall, 1 block. And we're going to come into Sukhasana, or pose of ease, bringing 1 foot in front of the pubic bone, the other foot in front of that one. I like to adjust the sitting bones by drawing them back and broadening them on a diagonal to neutralize the pelvic floor. And then release the hips and knees and the full weight of the legs toward the earth. If the hips are tight and your knees are up high, you'll take support as a folded blanket under the sitting bones or blocks on the knees so the groins don't start to grip. Remember, this sequence is all about accepting and finding support. So take your time, pause the video if you want to really direct your attention into being comfortable. What we are going to do here with one of our blocks is place it at the thoracic region between the shoulder blades, and then hold it at the wall by pressing the upper arms back, squeezing the shoulder blades together. I'm going to press and secure the block at the wall. So this is going to open the heart as I'm in my Sukhasana here, to be aware of really pressing the arms back, getting the heads of the humerus into the joint, broadening the collarbones, finding a comfortable place to rest the head, making sure everything is just right. As you begin to come into your practice. So I'm going to exhale here the hips get heavy, let the legs be heavy. If I'm noticing any gripping along the groins or the inner thighs, on my exhalation, I want to surrender away from that. And on my following inhalation, I want to feel the heart lift, the chest broaden and open up, and I'll squeeze back more with the arms. And let's collect our attention here with 3 deep, full, expansive inhales that expand the whole torso out 3-dimensionally. I'm going to sigh, make a gentle noise out through the mouth on these exhales here. So inhale, expansive. Exhale, sighing, letting go of any tension that might be holding you back. Inhaling, full and expansive. Exhaling, sighing, letting go. Returning to your roots. And really finding yourself present in your body in this moment. Hopefully with the support, if you took it at the hips, the knees, is allowing us to feel more comfortable and stable in our Sukhasana. Also, the wall and the block giving us a kinesthetic cue about how to arrange our spinal alignment to be stable and comfortable with the greatest amount of alignment. Perhaps noticing where the base of the skull is, bringing it back just a bit closer to the wall, as most of us have a predisposition to being forward. Next, inhale as the torso changes shape, volume, 3-dimensionally. Really become aware of the inner body lighting up. Feel the crown of the head rise. And your exhale, soften your tongue away from your teeth. Let your throat open and let the softness of your throat spread down throughout the inner body, connecting you to your core, connecting you to the deep abdominal area behind the belly button. Watch your breath now as it enters and as it leaves the body. Just turning your attention to each breath. And if the attention of the mind wanders away or leaves, as soon as you notice that, bring your attention and awareness back to the next breath. Watch the breath enter you. Watch the breath exit. Feel it sustaining and supporting you, just as the blanket, the blocks, the floor, and the wall are helping to support you. Let the whole earth support you. Trust in that unconditional support. Trust in that you deserve support. And when you trust and feel comfortable and stable, feel how your breath can open up and expand infinitely through the inner body and begin to shine outward so that you look, so that you feel more open and radiant in this moment. Watching the breath, make sure your inhales and exhales match each other. Set an intention here to accept support fully, to be curious about your relationship to support, to open up and experience the present moment do 3 more breath cycles here. Quiet the mind. Open the heart. Trust your supports. Then we'll release slowly away from the wall, taking that block out, and we'll start at the front edge of our mat in Tadasana. Place your 2 blocks at the short front edge of your mat, and then set your feet there for mountain pose. Bring the inner edges of the big toes closer than the heels. Spread the toes out, fan them, rock the weight forward and back, and slow down to find center. Bring the heads of the femurs into a strong internal rotation as though we were screwing in the bolts in a chair or tree stand to keep us more secure and stable. But then take the fleshy thigh muscles and spread and broaden them toward the back body. So we have the bones working into the joint for stability. We have the muscle broadening and also drawing the kneecaps up and hugging the bones for support. When we feel secure from the waist through the hips down into the feet, then bring your attention to your breath. Let your inhale once again expand the torso 3-dimensionally to full volume so that your inner light radiates outward. Exhale, release the arms heavy at the sides, release any tension from the back, let it slide down and help you to remember to root into your feet, so that we're in a constant flow of inhales, opening up to the moment and becoming more expansive. And then exhales, remembering to return home, to remember our support, to trust it, to soften, to soothe. We're going to begin with some sun salutations, and we're bring the hands together at the heart, elbows out wide. On the inhale, stay true to my feet. I'll reach up and I'll lift the heart as I reach back. Press the sacrum forward, lengthen the belly. Do not put stress in the low back. Exhale, we're gonna hang. I'm gonna bend the knees, deepen the groins, hold the elbows, head is heavy. Broaden the back, sink the sitting bones low. Bring one block in front of you, press your hands into it as you straighten your legs. Extend through the crown of the head so the spine is long and the chest is parallel to the floor. Notice that you can use the block at several different heights and play with which one works best for you. The thighs are drawing in, the sitting bones are broadening. I'm pressing into the support of the floor and the block, and I'm looking down to the crown of my head extends straight out. Now we'll release the block and come with hands onto both and step back to a high runner's lunge with the left foot. So I'm going to make sure that I'm engaging and lengthening that thigh, pressing my heel toward the wall. Bring my hands onto the blocks and still continue to extend the crown of the head forward. So remember, again, you can use the blocks at different heights. There's an inhale, elongation through the heel, through the spine, through the crown of the head. There's an exhale, press into your supports, the floor and the blocks. Find your breath. And then we're going to revolve this. I'm going to bring this block closer to the inner edge of the big toe. Continue to extend, but now also add a revolving here. I'm pressing down I'm reaching up equally. The crown of the head reaches out in front of me. The heel presses back behind me. I find my breath. Open up to the experience of the pose. Trust your support. Come back. Release the blocks. Palms to the floor. We'll step back to plank. Stack the shoulders over the hands. Press the heels toward the wall. Extend the crown of the head forward. And then toes curled, knees come down, deep in the groins. Keep the elbows close to the ribs, chest and chin touch. And then we melt the whole body down, zip the legs together. Hands should be at about the nipple line. Release your sacrum and forehead heavy to the floor. And then slowly come up into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Start with the elbows bent, no weight in the hands. Zip those legs together, press the feet down. Anchor the sacrum down. And then continue your way up. Stop at the point that's right for you. Keeping the heart open, the throat soft. Really finding that spine moves toward the front body, but that our legs and feet are rooted, supporting us. Exhale, release. Curl the toes. Extend back, keeping the hands planted. Lift the sitting bones, down dog. In my down dog, I'm going to spread the fingers wide. Make sure the weight's equal across the knuckles and wrists. Bend my knees, press my chest toward my thighs. Straighten my legs, come up high, chin to sternum. And then lower the heels toward the mat as my head comes in line with my arms. Now left foot will step forward for the lunge. I'll grab hold of the blocks. Be cognizant of what height you want to use them at. Get them stable. Pressing hands right into the blocks under the shoulders. Extend the back heel away from you. Extend the back of the neck, the crown of the head forward. Take a breath here. Feel that support and trust it. And let's revolve this. Bring the right hand block in closer. Keep extending through the crown of the head and the heel to the wall. And revolve that rib cage toward the sky. Find your breath and open up to the experience. Trust the support. And exhale. We will move the blocks forward. Step forward. Come into half Uttanasana again, using the block for support and the floor. Feel those femurs move back in the legs. Feel the belly dropping in, the sitting bones broaden. And next inhale, we're coming all the way up. Stay true to your roots, lift the heart. Exhale, mountain pose. Pausing here for a breath. Feel the support of the feet, the mat underneath you. If any thoughts besides yoga, besides this moment, have crept into your awareness, simply release away from them on your exhale. Unhook from them, and gather your awareness in the heart. As your breath fills the heart center, let's go through that again. Inhaling, we'll go up. Stay true to your roots, use your core, reach back. Exhale, hang, bend those knees, hold the elbows, release the sitting bones, back broad. Inhale, press into the three corners of the foot. So the inner arch lifts, feel those femurs slide back as the crown of the head extends forward. Press down into that block for your support. And then we're stepping back. Left foot steps back, high runner's lunge. Work the legs. Get this knee right over the ankle. Inhales, extend and lengthen. Bring the block in and turn. Keep extending through that back heel. Keep extending through the crown of the head. Create space through the chest. Open up to the experience. Breathe. Coming back. Slide those blocks forward. Take your plank. Press the floor away. Extend through the root chakra, through the heels to the wall. And 8-point salutation. Soften and deepen the groins. Melt the heart. Let the whole body come down. Relax your sacrum and forehead to the floor. Squeeze the elbows in. Keep the heart heavy, relaxed. Keep the sacrum as your anchor. The elbows in. Come up to the cobra that works for you. Want to feel that belly stretched long. Want to feel the sacrum moving toward the front body. Want to feel those legs pressing down, toes pressing down, active and strong for support. Exhale, release. Curl the toes, keep the hands planted, extend the sitting bones over the heels, lift for down dog. Spread the fingers. Bend the knees, work the chest toward the thighs. Straighten the legs, chin to sternum. Lower the heels, head in line with arms. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, looking in front of you. We're stepping the left foot forward. We're taking that high runner's lunge. Work it for 3 breath cycles. Inhale, extending. Exhaling into the support. Pressing into the blocks, pressing into the floor. Imagining you're pressing that back heel into the wall. Let's revolve it. Stay extended and long. Revolve slowly. Press down into the block as much as you're reaching up. And find your breath. Exhale. Bring the blocks forward. Step forward. Fold. Half Uttanasana. Coming all the way up through the strength of the core, the legs, lifting the heart. Exhaling, mountain. Take a moment there. Press the reset button, find wisdom, and respond appropriately instead of becoming caught up in a reactive cycle. We're going to go through that sequence one more time using the supports in the exact same way. We'll go a little bit quicker this time as we felt the flow already. Inhale, take it up. Lengthen and elongate the front body as you reach back. Exhale, hang. Broaden and elongate the back body. Inhale, straight legs, long spine. Press into the block, chest parallel to the floor. Exhale, runner's lunge. Bring the block in. Stay extended through the back heel and the crown of the head. Revolve. Open up to that experience. The more I press down in the block, the more I can reach up. The more my heart opens, the more my inner leg shines out. Bring it back. Plant the hands under the shoulders, plank. 8-point salutation, melting that spine toward the earth. Relax the forehead and the sacrum down. Zip the legs together, press the toes to the earth. There's a sensation like we're dragging the wrists toward the waist so that the heart, sternum can press forward. Upper arms are working back. Exhale, release. Take a full breath there. Rock the sacrum if it feels good. When you're ready, transition. Downward facing dog. Great big space between the fingers. Equal weight across the knuckles and wrist. Push the floor away. Elongate that spine. Use the arms and legs equally. And then inhale, looking in front of you, step the left foot forward. Runner's lunge, knee over ankle, back heel pressing back, crown of head reaching forward, everything's elongated. Trusting our support and stay elongated and turn it, revolve, open up. Expansive breath, inner light shining out and stepping forward. Half Uttanasana. Let's go into a full fold. Use the arms behind the legs, draw the chin to the sternum. And then we'll come up, inhaling through the strength of the roots, the center, the core, lifting the heart. Exhaling, returning to mountain. Take a moment there. Find a focus point, collect the breath, unhook from any thoughts that are not necessary or pertinent to this moment. Back at the front edge of our mat. We're going to take our block here to the outer edge of the right foot as we go into Asana, or eagle's pose. We're going to use this block for support so that instead of struggling to balance, we could perhaps devote a little more attention and focus to really coming into the internal rotation, broadening the back, and experiencing what is like a really deeply focused and internal energy in Asana. So remember, you can use the block here at different heights for resting the foot on. What we will focus on once we have the foot secure is a deepening of the internal spiral of the thighs and a broadening of the back. So we're in mountain pose. Just taking a moment to collect any thoughts, let go of any that are not pertinent to this moment. And I like to slowly transfer the weight of the body out of the right foot in, or out of the left foot into the right, to make sure I stay centered. And just bring the knee up, flexing the toes, so I have a nice arch in the foot, just find my balance there. Take a deep, full breath, open up to the moment. Then we're gonna exhale and bring the foot across onto the block. I want that to feel nice and secure. And then I'm gonna internally rotate, broadening sitting bones behind me, trusting the security, the support of this block to help me to deepen, to release the sitting bones down. And I'm gonna bring arms in front of me. Okay, the left arm crossed over, so I'm going to take the right arm across the left arm till the elbows join, and then I'm going to wrap. Try to bring the palms of the hands together, or the hands together, whatever way possible. And then I'm going to lift elbows to shoulder height, so the back broadens all through the thoracic region, the back of the heart, the shoulder blades. Ooh, and then I'm just going to breathe here, and I'm just really allowing myself to feel the support of the block, so that I can sink down, deepen, breathe into my back, open up to the true experience energetically of eagle's pose, finding that focus. And then I'm gonna release. Whole different experience for me. I mean, I can bring my toes up and find a way to stay standing in eagle's pose, but when I'm using this block, whole different experience of what's going on through here, instead of me kind of teetering and struggling and maybe gripping with the toes. So we'll do the other side. So we bring the block to the outer edge of the left foot, so we'll be standing on the left foot this time. Take a moment at mountain. Slowly redistributing the weight so that the left foot will take the weight that's released from the right as we draw it up. Stay in your center, find your focus point for your eyes, flex the toes. And then as we cross over, find that stability, deepen, internal rotation at the thighs. Sitting bones will broaden a little bit, and then you want to let them drop toward the earth. Feel the support here and here. Okay, right leg crossed over, so right arm out in front. Slide till the elbows are together. Bring the hands together. Lift the elbows to shoulder height. Try to sink down. Sit in your perch. Open up to the moment, to that focus. Breathe into the back. Exhale into the block and the floor for support. Let your sitting bones sink down. And release. Feels great. Back to mountain. You come back to mountain. Just allow yourself to drink in the after effects, the experience of the pose. When it felt comfortable and stable, when it felt supported. Okay, we're going to move back to the back edge of our mat that's closest to the wall. Have our two blocks handy in front of us, and we're going to work through Parsvottanasana and toward Parivritra Trikonasana. So we're going to work from a pyramid pose toward a revolved triangle. We're going to use the wall as just sort of a place marker for the back heel. These poses are done with a slightly shorter stance than a lot of the standing poses. So I'm going to be looking for my back heel, my left heel, to be rooted into the wall, my left thigh to be turning toward the midline, internal rotation, and that femur to move into the hamstring and root. That anchoring and all that support then is going to allow me to extend forward. So again, I'm going to bring my hands onto the blocks right under the shoulders. I'm going to press into the three corners of the foot. Really try to get this to engage, come up here. And then I might decide I want to use the block at the mid height. So as the thigh comes toward the midline here, the heel stays pressed to the wall. I elongate through the crown of the head, the back of the neck is long and soft. Really pressing down into my blocks for support. Trusting that unconditional support. Exhaling into the blocks and into the heel at the wall. Inhaling, extending the spine, opening up to the experience, softening the throat. Inner light radiating. We'll need it as we turn. The legs do not need to move. Our base, our feet do not need to move. But we'll bring the block in to the inner edge of the big toe. We'll bring our pointer finger around our waist, our thumb to our sacrum, and we'll start to revolve this. I'm really pressing into that block, keeping the leg, the back heel, pressing into the wall. Extending through the crown of the head and the spine in front of me. I might stay here, or I might take the arm up. Find that breath. And exhale back to the pyramid. And then release. Okay, so we're going to go through that on the other side. Please remember to, take some time to find the right positioning for you. Make sure your stance and your foundation with your feet is appropriate and stable. This is all about support. This time, I'm doing about 2.5, 3 feet probably between the inner edges of the heels. I'm drawing the right thigh toward the midline, pressing the heel, the femur back toward the wall. Love that kinesthetic cue of having the wall there to stay grounded, because if we're not anchored in the back foot, we can't really extend fully over the front leg. Using my blocks at mid-height, really pressing down from my shoulder into my hand into my blocks. Pressing into the 3 corners of the foot so the inner arch lifts, brings a lot of energy up through the legs into my core, where I then expand that radiant inner light out, open up to the experience, the energetic potential of the pose. All right, and then we're gonna turn this. So the feet, we have this strong foundation, good base with the legs. We're only gonna revolve as far as we can revolve without losing our feet, without losing our balance. So you just stop revolving and breathe into that place that works for you. It's a process. As I revolve more, of course, I'll feel my back legs start to kind of get out of anchoring. And I have to readjust, make sure I don't go too far. The more I press down into the block, the more I can reach up, open up, expand the torso 3-dimensionally, increase the whole volume of the torso. And then I'll exhale back to Parvottanasana for a breath. And then I will come up through the strength of the core, the support of the legs. All right, so now we've worked the hips in internal rotation with a lot of support, and we've done some twisting, and now let's work the hip in external rotation with some support. I'm gonna take the support of the wall. The wall will be a nice support. It'll also be a kinesthetic cue to make sure that we're not tensing, rounding, and bringing the head out of alignment with the spine, or tensing the shoulders up as we try to work through the hip opening. A lot of times what happens is people shorten up and bring it all up into here as they're trying to work the hip open. It's not what we want, right? We want to isolate the action to the hip. We want to stay relaxed here. So this wall is going to give me a great cue if I'm starting to stress out and do that. I'm going to bend the knees in front of me, but I can take the feet as far away from me as I need to as I start to work through the hip opening. So the first thing I want to do is just start to drop the right knee toward the floor. Now, I can keep the foot at the midline and get the knee toward the floor. That is not something that is accessible to everyone. A lot of people are very, very tight through the hip. So adjust accordingly. Maybe take a block there if you need it for 2 or 3 breaths to just stay here, soft. Open up to the moment here. Through the leg, what are we experiencing? Exhaling, letting the hip release toward the earth, heavy. Keeping the toes flexed and arching the foot. And then I'm going to bring this to a thread the needle or a figure 4 type position. So I'm going to bring the ankle just above the knee to the thigh. So this would be where I can slide that leg out further if I need that space, okay? But I don't want to take the back away from the wall. So you adjust to the right spot for you. The closer that this leg comes to the chest, right, the more I'm going to experience this hip and external rotation. But I don't want to go so far. And again, I'm straining, that I'm leaning away from trying to get the chest toward the leg. I want to just relax into this. And really open up to the experience and breathe. I want to be soft and relaxed here. I only want to feel this stretch in this area. Because I'm a loose jointed person, I have to think about moving the knee away from me and keeping the hip joint active. If you're a tight bodied person, you might be just focusing on exhaling and softening through the hip area and not be concerned with where the knee's at. But everybody wants their back, the base of their head to the wall. Feel nice and supported there. And then the torso opens up three-dimensionally. We shine that inner light out because we feel the support. Even feel the support of that foot on the floor pressing down as you exhale. One more breath. And we'll release. Good, so we'll take that to the other side. We're gonna drop the left knee. Remember that you can take a block under the knee so there's not gripping. You could take 2 blocks. You could take a folded blanket. But wherever you're at, just kind of trying to just adjust to, okay, I could be okay with this. I feel the support of this. I'm not gonna tense up against it. I'm gonna stay relaxed, my back and head to the wall, my throat soft. I'm gonna keep breathing. And then I'm ready, after a few mindful breaths there, to bring that ankle to just above the knee. I'm gonna flex my toes and press the knee out because I'm loose jointed and I need to keep that hip joint active. Otherwise, I won't really be opening it in the way that I would like. I'll just be kind of passively hanging in it. If you're tight, again, your focus is on exhale, soft throat, heavy tongue, and being really releasing yourself into the support of the wall, right? That leg is coming closer. I feel the hip has to open, but I exhale into my back, into the base of my head, and I just release into the wall. I feel it's unconditional support. I soften my throat. I open up to the experience through the hip. Feel the energetic potential of that as I trust in the support of the floor and the wall. Is it hard for you to accept help? I've found that it is for me. A lot of times we think mentally we want help, but then when it comes time to accept it, we're a little, at least could be a little self-sabotaging. So just a reminder, just really accept the support, the unconditional support of the wall, the floor. One more breath here. And let's release. Give the legs a shake. Massage. Okay, so a black, we're still at the wall. We are going to get a folded blanket to take some of the pressure off the kneecap here as we work into what some people call like a frog stretch. This can stretch open the front of the quad. It can be quite intense and you really have to give yourself the support you need, not go past your edge. Open up to the experience and breathe. So what we do here is we bring the right knee to the wall, the right shin foot up the wall. So I've got that blanket under the kneecap. And I'm gonna have this block here for some support as I bring the left knee over the left ankle. So what's gonna happen here is you're gonna feel very tight and you might be more in this position. What you're going to want to do is try to draw the torso upright and move the buttocks toward the wall. But again, of course, we're not going to overdo it. So, really elongating the quad into the knee, pressing toward the wall for support. All the action should be here. I want to be soft at the throat, soft at the shoulder, soft at the neck. One more breath here. And release. And we'll take it to the other side. Feeling a lot of warmth there. That's going to help us in our next pose though, that opening through the quad. So this one sometimes can take a while to figure out how's the best way to get into it. That might be the most awkward part. Left knee right at the wall, left foot coming up the wall. Bring the right knee over the ankle. Use your block or 2 blocks for support. Just try to come upright. You know, you might be staying here. You do this with the hands. If you're feeling this along the front of the thigh, the quadricep lengthening, then you know you're hitting the right spot. Open up to that experience without holding or gripping at the shoulders. I keep trying to work toward the wall, but not overdo it. Two more breath cycles. And that slow release. Feels good. That will set us up for our back bend today, which will be camel's pose at the wall. Again, camel's pose, if you're finding like you're getting tension in the kneecaps, you might want to keep this blanket here. I just have a very soft, lightweight blanket, not one of the heavier folded ones that I would normally use for yoga, because I just need just a little cushion for the kneecap. When we come into our camel's pose, we will want to position the quadriceps right up against the wall. And then we're going to want to use a couple of blocks or a bolster across the heels to support our camel's pose. So the wall will be a kinesthetic cue to move your chest and front body toward the wall. All right, and the bolster or blocks will give you some elevation to bring the hands onto for support, so that we don't feel our camel's pose in our low back, but instead move that sensation up through the thoracic spine and opening the heart, which is where we want to experience it. So let me adjust the camera here so that you'll have a better view. Okay, I have my bolster here. I have my knees at the wall. I'm going to place the bolster over the heels. I'm going to face the wall. And I want to try to move the thighs toward the hips, toward the wall. I'm going to bring my hands to my lower buttocks, fingers pointing down, squeeze my elbows together. Lift and press the sacrum toward the wall. And then bring my hands to the bolster. And I'll open up and lift my chest to the wall. So I'll show that with the camera here now. So you'll see the full. So we'll be here. I'm going to open. I'm going to bring the hands to the bolster. And then I'm going to look up. Lift the sternum to the sky. Exhale into the support of the hands on the bolster. Press the hips toward the wall, but the thigh muscles back. Feel the throat and neck open. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release, go right into child's pose. Allow that nervous system to slow down. Respond appropriately with the breath rather than becoming reactive. Inhale. When you're ready, come up slow and easy. If you had a hard time getting yourself positioned into that or didn't quite feel right, I would encourage you to pause the video and try it again. Fine-tuning the support that you need, because that's a big part of the experience of using props. If we don't use them correctly, if we don't get them in just the right place the first time, we might immediately turn off to the idea because it didn't feel helpful or it felt worse or whatever. It's something you really have to play with, because we all have unique physical bodies, physical experiences. We do really have to be attuned to ourselves, our experience. Okay, after we come up from child's pose, we're going to take plank at the wall. So I'm going to situate myself so that my feet press into the wall, toes curled really close to it, heels pressing back. Hands right under shoulders, elbow creases facing each other. And we're going to roll onto the left side for Vasisthasana. So I'm going to press my left foot into the wall, bend my right knee, press firmly into that foot, firmly into this arm, shoulders right over the hand, upper arms externally rotating. As I press down and anchor into this foot and into the wall, I can really open up into a beautiful lateral opening. Breathe into that, expand that with the breath. Inner body radiant, inner light shining, comfort and stability, and release. Take a break at tabletop or with the knees down before you take it to the other side. Plank. Roll onto the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Press it into the wall. Bend the left knee. Push down. Keep the upper arm externally rotated. Revolve, reach up. Open up to the experience. Feel that support. As you exhale, trust it. Inhale, expand. Open-hearted presence. Inner body radiant. And release. Back to tabletop or back to child's pose if you need that little extra break there. Feels so great. So expansive. Okay, we're gonna come into staff pose. And we're going to try to take it to a revolved staff pose. This is a lot of fun to play with. So we're gonna have a block handy to support the foot. We're gonna have a strap handy in case your arms are not long like a gorilla's like mine, so I can reach my feet easily. So we're in staff pose, the legs out in front of us, the femurs grounding into the hamstrings and heels pressing into the mat. Hands are under the shoulders, the sacrum, moving toward the belly so the heart opens and lifts effortlessly. Take a breath here. And then we're going to revolve this staff pose. So I'll take the strap around the left foot and place it up on the block for a little extra lift. Okay. Using the strap here, I'll take both ends in the right hand. And I'm going to revolve this staff pose by turning my chest to the left side. See if I can draw the foot up. If not, use the block to support the foot. And see if you can release the back arm to reach behind you and open your chest. Now it's kind of working out nice and handy here because I can press into the wall behind me as well. Keeping my right straight leg grounded. Pressing my heel, my foot into the strap away from me. Revolving from the thoracic spine. Opening the chest. Inner body radiant. Open to the experience. Exhaling into my supports, which is the strap, the wall, and the floor for me right now. Might be different for you. I'm going to exhale, release. Whew. And we'll try that to the other side. So you take staff pose. You'll prop the heel. Use the strap if you need it. Right? This might be like enough. Just staying here and trying to turn. You have to decide. You have to determine that. And you have to determine it from a place of wisdom in the heart center rather than from the mind, which can be a little more ego-based or influenced by appearances, things we've heard or seen. Right? We want this to be about the energetic feeling. Pressing into the support of the strap, the wall, the floor, keeping the straight leg grounded, the heel grounded, turning from the thoracic spine, opening up to the breath, the energetic experience. And taking a break. Beautiful work. From our staff pose, we're going to take a supported Paschimottanasana. So I'm going to take my bolster or a couple folded blankets, or you can use the block too here just for resting the head if all you have is a block. You could take the block to the legs. So if I have the bolster, I'm going to take my staff pose, and I just want to allow myself to release. Probably take my glasses off. Release my forehead onto the bolster. Sometimes it feels good to turn the head. If you do turn the head to one side, notice how the back's nice and broad here. Then just make sure that you even it out by turning your head to the other side for an equal amount of breaths. If you don't have the bolster, here the important thing, nice grounded straight legs, broad back, and I'm really softening and resting the head. If you don't have a bolster, okay, I could take a block or two to try to support the head. I could take a block and a folded blanket. And the bolster is really nice here. It really does just allow you to open up the back body and breathe into that thoracic spine around the shoulder blades, the back of the heart. Soften and quiet the mind. I would encourage you to breathe deeply, maybe 2-3 cycles, just really expanding the heart and the torso three-dimensionally, as we've talked about. And then on your exhales, maybe sighing, maybe making a little noise as you breathe out through the mouth, and just trying to release fully, deeply, surrender over the bolster and come into this unconditional support. I came up with all kinds of puns and crazy things to say about accepting support, and I haven't used any of them yet, but just made me want to, like, you know, do a trust fall into your bolster here. Allow yourself to be propped up. Anyway, softening that tongue, feeling where you need to let go. And yes, trusting this support, trusting this moment, trusting that everything really is okay right now. Even if you let go, everything will be okay. As I'm exhaling here, I can feel my nose and face getting more smushed into the mat as I'm letting go. And I hope you're having a similar experience, that you can still breathe, but that you're feeling that the layers of stress and tension are falling away as each exhale is an acceptance in the trust of the unconditional support. Let's do 3 more breath cycles here. The mind nice and quiet, the back broad, feeling safe, feeling supported. Next inhale, I'm going to make my way up slowly. We're about ready for our final relaxation pose. And rather than doing corpse today, we are going to do some supported Baddha Konasana so that we open the hips up nicely. Sorry for the shoddy camera work here. I come over here. I'm going to use my bolster and 2 blocks here for Baddha Konasana supported. My spine will rest along the bolster. The soles of my feet will come together. And I will use the blocks to support the knees so that my groins and legs, the inner legs, don't start to tense up and grip. And again, you can use the blocks at different heights. We just want to feel like that the knees feel supported so that the hips won't grip. You want the soles of the feet together, but the soles of the feet can move as far away from your hips as needed. And then you will recline back slowly so that the heart will feel and spine will feel supported by the bolster. As I lay back, I might readjust. Just using the hands one time, I might just pull the back skin down so that I feel like my heart can open and broaden over the bolster. Readjust the knees, the blocks if needed. Drop the upper arm toward the floor. Turn the head side to side a couple of times with your inhale and exhale. Then back to center. Drop it to the other side. Bring it back to center. Heart feels supported. Base of the head feels supported. Spine feels supported by the bolster. Knees feel supported. Hips feel supported. Every part of your body supported. Breathing into that, the inhale, those supports reach up and greet you, come closer. Exhale, trusting acceptance of your support. Inhale, and you are embraced by your support system. Exhale, and you melt into a trusting acceptance. Inhale and expand yourself once more, 3-dimensionally through the torso, inner body radiant and bright. Exhale, release any layers of tension or gripping that remain. No longer try to control your breath. Instead, simply watch it and follow it. And you become more passive and A little more shallow, a little more like our sleeping breath. And that's okay, just stay with that, just follow that. Just let that be the thread of your awareness as you rest here for the next few moments. Let your next inhale deepen, become more conscious. Slowly continue that progression, bringing more awareness and depth back to the breath, bringing more awareness back to the peripheral body, slowly wiggling the fingers, the toes, perhaps straightening the legs first, giving them a little bounce, dropping the feet open, sighing. Then maybe stretching the arms overhead. Oh, that feels nice. Coming onto your side. Head heavy, resting into the floor in that support one last time. And then slowly pressing yourself up. Into a comfortable seated position like Sukhasana or anything else that works for you. Take a moment. Let everything come full circle. This is where we started. Sukhasana. Feel the support of the earth. Inhale and expand that inner light. Shine it out as you reach up. Exhale, bring the hands together, down to the heart. Inhalation lifts the heart, radiant. This is where our presence is. This is where our awareness is. Exhale, we bow the head, chin towards sternum to quiet the mind even more and let the heart be the center of awareness. Inhale, fill and lift the heart. It's buoyant. It's joyful. Exhale, lengthen the back of the neck. Head heavy, mind quiet. I hope your practice is truly a source of support and unconditional love and acceptance in your life. I hope that you know when you come to your mat, you are accepted for wherever you're at, and that you can feel that trust. Allow yourself to open up and expand into each moment, into your true nature, which lies here. Joy. Namaste, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in and practicing with me. I truly hope it is a benefit and gift in your life.